What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to share a couple of figures from Thrilljoy. Now, I thought that I ordered the Pix of Wednesday, but I ended up with the Pixel, so maybe I was in a rush when I was on the website. It could be my own fault that this happened, but I'm pretty sure that the Pix of Wednesday did sell out at this point, so I'm going to keep this Pixel. One thing that's unfortunate about it, though, is I may not actually get Wednesday. I may end up with a supporting character instead, but I may go second market for the Pix because I still would like to have that version of Wednesday, one of those versions of Wednesday. The common one, the difference is she actually has an umbrella, which is a cool touch there with it. And I think the chase, though, is actually the same as the Dancing Wednesday that you see here. So if I got the Dancing Wednesday, maybe I would just stop at that because I really don't want, I don't need like the smaller version and the larger version of that Dancing Wednesday. So yeah, it may depend on what I end up with here, whether or not I go second market. The other characters you see here, of course, they have Thing, they have Enid, they have Pugsley, they have Gomez. Kind of surprised they have Gomez instead of Morticia. I feel like Morticia has been more important to the series, at least thus far. There is a gold variant of Wednesday. I'm not even going to worry about that. I know that that is super rare. But yeah, let me know if you actually went for this particular figure, the actual Pix of Wednesday, and did you get what you ordered? Like I said, it might be my mistake, so I'm not going to blame Thrilljoy. I probably was in a rush on the website, but let's go ahead and see what I ended up with in this mystery box. I got the plastic off, and there is a pull tab here on the top. Let's go ahead and take care of that. And then I'm pretty sure the item will be in a bag. Yeah, there's the bag. So let's go ahead and get this out. And I'm definitely not going to guess with the weight or anything like that. I think these figures are too similar to try to do anything like that. So let's go ahead and get it out. Remember that these do come in a frame and the figure is magnetized, so it'll stay in place. And it does look like I have the standard Wednesday, which I am perfectly fine with that. I'm actually glad that I got her and not a supporting character. So I don't think I want the full size. I've heard that like the Pix with this same design, and it's kind of risky to go for a sealed one. For one thing, on the second market, a sealed Wednesday would be kind of pricey, and then I may not get a chase variant. So yeah, I may just stick with what I have here for right now. Yeah, and I do have the little list here. Let me see. Let me get this out of the box. Okay, see that they had the little list here, and it does talk about the gold variant there. And if you get the gold variant, then you actually are eligible to get a Mega Pix, which I don't think we've seen any of the Mega Pix just yet. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think we've seen any of those just yet for any of the figures. But yeah, I'm not going to go for any more of the Pixels for Wednesday. And like I said, I may not even worry about the second market for the Pix. I think I may just stick to this here because I do like the look of it. Yeah, and it is cool that it is magnetized, you know, with the pixels. They do stay in place, and it does have the name on there, of course. So, yeah, not what I expected. I thought I ordered the Pix, but yeah, I'm gonna just roll with that for right now. All right, the next one we have up here, this is actually a Pix. The rest of these will be. I have here Batgirl, and I actually do have a couple of Batgirl items in my collection. I think I got even a statue or two. Yeah, and I think some people have actually sent me things related to Batgirl. So, yeah, I figured this would be cool to add to that collection. You see that it does have a glitter paint job going on there. That number, I'm just kind of odd that they went with that particular number there, 6,666 pieces. And then on the back here, you see that the chase is actually Robin, and then the super chase is the Penguin. And I've already talked about it before, how I'm not super crazy about their chases sometimes being different characters. Out of these three, I mean, if I got the Penguin, I wouldn't be upset, but I probably still would want Batgirl in my collection. I'll be honest, I don't want Robin, but, you know, we'll see what I end up with here. Let me go ahead and get the plastic off. The Pix, of course, had their pull tab on the back. Let's go ahead and pull this down. And remember, they did switch it up so you don't see what you got right away. I'm going to have to actually turn it around. And let's see here. Okay, so it is actually the Batgirl. And I'm noticing right away with the paint job, it made it look like on the, let me show you real quick, on the box, I think it made it kind of look like this would be almost translucent, which it is not, but I'm okay with that. I'm fine with it, you know, having that type of paint job to it. And I am going to leave it in the box there, even though I'm still not crazy about the count that they went with. That's kind of crazy to see all the sixes there. But yeah, that is a cool figure there. I'm definitely not going to go for another one of these because I'm not worried about getting that Robin figure. Not interested in Robin, and not going for the Penguin either. That's a super chase that would be very difficult to get. I forget what the ratio is on those. It's like 1 in 96 or something like that. But yeah, definitely not going to worry about that. So I'm just going to stick with this figure here. And like I said, this will fit nicely into my Batgirl collection. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the other picks that I have here, and then I'll get the plastic off of them at the same time just to save some time. So I actually got 2 of Scarecrow because I am such a big fan of Scarecrow. He is one of my favorite comic villains. You see that this says UCC exclusive, 6,000 pieces. And what's really awesome about this one, I think this was, well, yeah, it says here the new Batman Adventures. That's the design there. But based on the original version of Scarecrow, that is the chase there, Batman the Animated Series. I would love to have the chase, and that is why I actually got 2 of these. Okay, and like I said, I'll get the plastic off in a moment, and I will go ahead and open up both of these back to back. So I'm really hoping for one of each. Now, if I don't get the chase, I'm not going to stress over it, and I will just keep both, and I'll take one of them out of box, though. I would take one out of box and keep the other one in the box. And then I had to get 2 of another one here. And if you follow my channel, if you follow me on social media, you should not be surprised that I went for 2 of these. I also have here Spikey, the killer clown, you know, based on Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Actually, we rewatched this movie recently, enjoyed it all over again. It's such a cheesy movie, but I really do enjoy it. So yeah, again, 6,000 pieces here for Spikey. And on the back here, you see that the chase is actually Shorty. It would be really nice to get Shorty. And there is that Spikey super chase. Would be amazing to get that as well. But yeah, if I don't get either chase, I'm not going to stress over that. And just like I said about Scarecrow, I would, you know, take one out of box, keep the other one in box. So yeah, I'm going to get the plastic off of all 4 boxes here for the sake of time, and then go ahead and open these. While I'm opening up my first Scarecrow, I do want to point out these do come with the collectible cards as well. With the Batgirl, I could kind of feel it in there moving around some. I think Thrilljoy is doing better about basically making sure those are tucked in so they don't just slide out. But honestly, I'm not so worried about the card. So if it stays in place, I'm basically just going to leave it that way. You know, I'm not really so concerned about the number, you know, what count it is. That's just not something I'm really into. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what this first Scarecrow is. Okay, so this is the standard one. And I'm actually not super familiar with this design. Once Batman the Animated Series switched over to the new Batman Adventures, it was kind of more kid-friendly, I guess you could say. So I didn't really stick to the series once it switched over to that point. This is an interesting design for the character, though. I do like that he has the actual, you know, the spray there, the fear toxin. That is pretty cool. But yeah, let's check the other one to see if I managed to get the chase. Now, I may look, if I don't have the chase here, I may look at second market prices, but I just can't imagine that they're going to be reasonable. So if I strike out, I just strike out. I'm not going to stress over that. But let's see what we have here. Yeah, and it is the standard figure as well. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to stress over that. I will take one of these out of box. In fact, let me open up the Killer Klowns there, and then I may actually go ahead and take one of these out, get a closer look at it. So yeah, it would have been nice to have this Scarecrow, but yeah, I'm not going to stress over it too much. Like I said, I just can't imagine the second market being reasonable with these, not based on some things I've seen already with the picks. Okay, so the first Spikey here, let's go ahead and check him out. Okay. And I saw some people talking about whether or not they actually keep the this outer part of the box. I don't think I'm going to hang onto these. I don't really feel like I need those necessarily. But let's go ahead and check it out here. Okay, so yep, we got Spikey. And he is pretty cool looking. Something that really makes these clowns so creepy looking is all the wrinkles on their face. And I'm glad that they do have that detail here with the Pix. So yeah, if I have another Spikey here, I'm actually not upset at all about keeping one out of box to get a better look at the details of it. But we'll see what we have here for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and get this sleeve off and turn it around here. And it is another Spikey. So no chase luck this time, but I'm not going to stress that because I have had some luck with Thrilljoy chases. I think I have 2 in my collection now, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have 2 right now. And I imagine, you know, I could end up with some more in the future. So yeah, I'm not going to stress over it. But since I do have doubles, like I said, I'm going to take out one Scarecrow and I'm going to take out one Spiky. Again, I'm not too familiar with this version of Scarecrow. And I still, if I'm remembering correctly, like I said, I think they went with a more kid-friendly version of the series. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, because I didn't really watch those later episodes for Batman the Animated Series once it became the new Batman Adventures. But yeah, fill me in, because now that I'm thinking about it, this is a pretty grim detail, you know, the noose around his neck. So maybe I'm wrong about that and thinking that it was more kid-friendly. But it was definitely a different look for the characters. I wasn't crazy about how they switched up the art style, but this figure looks good overall. I do like how he has like the Undertaker look going on there with the kind of tattered hat. And I was wondering about this weapon too. I couldn't see it super well at first when this was revealed. I was wondering if it was a scythe and he was just holding it awkwardly, but no, it's a straight up club. And I do like the canister with the fear toxin coming out. It's kind of a plain looking canister though. Almost makes that look a little bit unfinished, but you know, it still works overall. So yeah, overall I like the look of it. Very cartoony looking feet it has going on, but that's kind of common with these Pix, I guess. And the teeth are pretty gnarly looking there. So yeah, overall it is a cool design. I still prefer the other Scarecrow design much more, but it's fine. Next up here is Spiky. And again, like I said, I really like the wrinkles with the killer clowns. I just think it makes them look so unique from other clowns that you see even in horror movies. And spiky hair on point, of course, for Spiky. And he does have the balloon dog with him, which is a nice touch. Yeah, so really liking the look of Spiky. I definitely like Spiky more than I like the look of Scarecrow. Even though that Scarecrow is cool, definitely like this Spiky a whole lot. This is my favorite out of the figures here. Yeah, so it's nice to have this one that'll be out of box. Like I said, the other one will stay in the box. Same thing is true for Scarecrow. I really do like the look of the shorty as well, but again, I don't want to spend a crazy amount of money on single figures like that. So, you know, I took my shot with each of these, didn't get the chases. I am not going to stress that. I don't need to get the chase every time. I already have had some chase luck with Thrilljoy. I have at least 2 chases, I believe, at this point, and I don't have like a large Pix collection just yet. You know, it's slowly starting to build up, but I don't have a whole lot. So the fact that I have 2 chases, I'm good with that. And I do have some more Thrilljoy on the way that I will be sharing in the near future on the channel. I actually have another one here already, but I'm just going to do that in a short probably, because I feel like there's something else I want to share along with that. It'll make sense when you check out that short. But yeah, let me know what you think about these figures here, and what do you think about Pix in general? Are you actually getting into collecting these, or is it just not really for you? You're still trying to figure out? You know, let me know your thoughts in general about Thrilljoy, and especially about Pix. Thank you all so much for taking the time to check this out, and I will talk to you all again real soon.